to the Relentless CEO Podcast with Adam Kifer. Follow your path to success alongside icons and industry leaders in martial arts, fitness, and more. Let's go. This is the Relentless CEO Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Relentless CEO Podcast. I'm here with Coach Randy. What's up, Randy?
How are you, sir?
Good to have you on, man. I'm doing good.
Yeah, it's fun to be here.
So Randy is my coach that's been whipping me into shape, but tell them a little bit more about who you are and your background.
I'm just a guy trying to, get by every day, but I love what I do and it's fun. I get to hang with the boys every day, and you get some serious guys and then you get some people who just want to come train. So I kind of get the best of both worlds, a little serious and a little fun, kind of mixing the both. Yeah.
When did you start getting into MMA?
I'd say I started doing jiu-jitsu in like 06, 05, maybe 05. And then, actually before that, my daughter was born in 05. I started before that. So probably 03, 04, started doing jiu-jitsu. I boxed as a young kid when I was like 13, 14, and then got in a bunch of trouble. So got to use all that stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, I like how you just said I boxed as a kid. You were Golden Glove boxer.
Yeah. It's a pugilist as a Golden Gloves kid. It's not as crazy as it sounds, but it's cool. It's cool to have. Yeah, I had it. I worked for it and won it, and it was cool. But yeah.
That's awesome. And when did you actually start? So when did you transition from MMA? Because you fought a bunch of MMA fights, right?
Yep. 30 professional fights.
Damn, Nice.
A lot, yeah.
And your brain still works. Heck yeah.
Yep, I didn't get hit a lot. I mean, got hit some, but not like some of these other guys in there, yeah.
Not like me in sparring today.
No, not like him in sparring today. Yeah. Or Scotty.
To all my listeners out there, you know by now that I never promote anything on this podcast, and that needs to change because there's a life-changing event coming up that every martial arts school needs to be at, and that's the 2024 Relentless Membership Summit. Every year we throw this event, we invest over $100,000 into bringing you the best speakers on the planet, having some of the best entertainment, and always securing one of the best venues possible. And this year is no different. We're bringing in one speaker that has over $100 million in sales and is the king of creating offers. His name is Jason Fladlian. You may know some of the people he's mentored, like Alex Hormozi and Russell Brunson and numerous other huge names in the marketing world that he has worked with. We have Brady Edwards coming to speak, who is the former video director for Mr. Beast. If you know anything about YouTube, you've heard the name Mr. Beast. He has over 245 million subscribers, and this is the guy that helped him grow his channel, that helped him plan all of those crazy videos, and he's going to be teaching how martial arts schools can get an unfair advantage when it comes to creating content for their schools. We also have industry staples like Dave Kovar, the teacher of teachers, Jody Tension, Kelly Murray, Jonathan Frank. We have Jesse Isaacs, who's a new speaker this year, and Jesse has 5 martial arts schools, multiple of them doing over $100,000 in revenue per month. He's coming to share his secrets of success with you. Guys, this is an event that you want to be at because you want to be around not only the amazing expert speakers we have, but other school owners that are there with the same drive and ambition that you have to grow their school, make a bigger impact, and build a legacy for their family. And for a limited time only, we have early bird tickets available. They're only $97. It is stupid how little we are charging for this event. I've even had people message me and say, Adam, is this the correct price? It is the correct price, but it's only going to be a limited time. So guys, as soon as August 1st is here, it's over. That goes back to regular prices, and you're going to be paying 5 times what the rates currently are at. Grab your ticket, relentlesssummit.com. Thank you guys for listening to my quick spiel. Now back onto the podcast. When did you decide to transition from training to coach, and what made you want to start coaching?
I just had some changes in my life that were kind of, drastic, and had some loss, and kind of just changed, my responsibilities kind of had to be. And I started coaching almost, clients and doing stuff like that, which I already did when I was fighting, but I took it a little more serious. And then I came across some fighters who, kind of already had a name for themselves. You guys know here from Arizona, Henry Cejudo,
yep.
And kind of built a relationship with him as far as on the mitts and helping him with some of the things I had learned. And he picked me up and started coaching in his corner. Won a couple titles with him in the UFC.
Nice.
And I never really was like, I'm done fighting. I just was really enjoying coaching and And just, I don't know, my life got a lot better and prosperous at the same time, you know, and I wasn't, you know, having to put in the physical hours as far as training. Not that I didn't enjoy it, but it just kind of, it was a comfortable transition. I was getting older, and it was just, I had 30 fights, and, you know, I didn't accomplish everything I wanted to, but I feel like, you know, I'm helping a lot of these new guys.
Yeah,
and I feel like, not that I battle with it all the time, but I think about all the time that I'm, you know, getting a little bit older, and if I want to compete, it's got to be now. But I feel like I've put so much on myself as far as like the guys that I have and the stable of fighters, and it's got a lot of people I feel like rely on me, but you know, sometimes I also ask myself if I use that as an excuse, you know what I mean? But it definitely keeps me busy in there with the guys, man. I feel like we've made a big change and a big difference just with, you know, sitting down and working together. We got a lot of good guys at the gym. I'm sure you know, we've talked about it, but it's just fun to learn and coach, and I go in there and spar with the boys all the time and move around. So just as long as I stay in shape and don't let the old man in, I think I'll be happy. Good, I think I'll be happy.
I've seen you mess up some of the pro fighters when you're
I don't know, but I mess them up. I get some licks and I get my moments, but you know, they definitely get theirs. But to the point where I can't get any moments, that's when we're that's when we're worried, you know. But I love what I do, so it kind of just, it's easy to go in there and be around good people, and people who are just driven. I remember what that was like. Just, you were so tired, you didn't want to go to practice. It's like Thursday, you've already had 2, 4, 6, probably 9 sessions, and it's Thursday, you know, and you got to go back because you got to finish strong, and like you just question, you have a conversation with yourself, you know. And those guys that show up, I respect that, man, because it takes a lot. Yeah, it's so easy to just lay in bed and just like, oh, I'll do it. You know what? No, I'll go to the gym tonight. You know, I'll do extra tonight. So easy. Yeah, it doesn't happen. And if it does, it wasn't right because you already didn't do what you said you were going to do.
And I think that's what a lot of people miss about athletes at that level is that I think they think that those people just wake up motivated and are like,
no, it's hard. Right, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Like these guys, the highest level in the NBA, like those guys didn't get to the finals because they're good. Yeah, like that's a big part of it. They're good because of the hours, and they showed up when they didn't want to, and the work was put in through the summertime and then the springtime. Or, you know, for these fighters, we respect these guys when they get right back in the gym afterwards. Like these guys fight on Saturday. We don't care even if they fight out of country. If you're back and it's Monday, you should be at practice, even if you don't train. Just make that appearance. It's kind of a thing that everyone's kind of done. And if you start your guy in a minute, you didn't take no damage, you should be training.
So a question for
There's
you.
There's no reason why.
Because you've worked with so many people over the years. You ever have like athletes you're working with that you can tell have a bunch of potential, but they're just not, the effort is not clicking for them where they see their potential? Yeah. How have you gone about being able to pull that potential out of them and get them more serious? Because I know it probably doesn't work all the time.
Yeah, well, you know, you just tell people. Like so many people have potential, and so many guys that come to the gym have potential. It's about, I used to look at skill and like, man, that kid moves well, or man, that kid, you know, whatever, has a good jab. I like that. But then you start looking at the kid who just shows up every day.
Yeah.
Those grinds it out. That because you know that's going to outweigh everything. Because I used to, you know, you get attached to the kid who can move and he picks up stuff really easy. You're like, great, but you see him twice a week, right? Yeah. And it's easy to want to be drawn to those kids when they come into class because they're doing what you want. You want to feed them more, but you almost just have to not, because you know, you got this one kid in the room that shows up every day and he might not be picking it up as well, but then you don't even talk to him. Like, it's hard because those are the kids you should be just spending every moment with, every moment, because it's cool, because they'll pick it up eventually. Now, you know, there's traits you got to look for or not, but showing up and being consistent is one of the biggest things in mixed martial arts. Just like anything athletics, but it's got your intention behind your training, you know?
Now, what do you feel are like the main qualities in your opinion that make a great martial artist, great fighter?
A mixed martial artist? Or anyone in general?
Well,
any kind of discipline or discipline? Because I'll say wrestling if we're talking about mixed martial arts, and that always starts with discipline as a young kid.
Sure.
Like those wrestlers that come into the gym, like they're hard nosed from a young age. You know, they just know what it's like to cut weight at the age of 10. Some of them, 11, 12, 13. They're already cutting weight. They know that sacrifice feeling of what it's like to take things from yourself for a better cause. You know, and it's hard for even some adults in the fighting to do that. Like, they make weight cutting sound so hard, or they bitch about it. You know, a lot of guys, it's always unhappy for everybody. Yeah. But some guys wear it on their sleeves, and you can tell that they just haven't gone through it. You know what I mean? It's different to see. Wrestling's a trait, I would say, obviously. I think boxing and karate. I think wrestling, boxing, karate, if we're talking about skill sets, but if we're talking about like traits, intangible things, yeah. But if we're talking about like, I'm not sure, like consistency is one thing, but you got to have like a will to like, you know what I mean? To not quit and give up and fighting. I feel like that can be built a little bit. I've seen it over the years. Some guys get tougher. I feel like I was one of the guys where I was skilled. I would last one or two rounds, but once I got tired, I didn't have the same. And that's anybody, right? Yeah. But once you learn how to get in shape and trust your conditioning, and like my confidence went through the roof. So I feel like if you get a cardio-driven guy with just consistency, good traits as far as the eyes too. You got to have good like awareness too is a good thing. I think there's a lot of things.
What do you feel like is the best cardio builder? Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
You know?
Cardio builder as far as like for martial arts.
I feel like it's like running, jump roping, all of it.
That's tough. I think whatever you don't want to do, you should do. Like.
All right, that means I got to start running, guys.
You know what I mean? If you're like, oh. Like if you run on the treadmill, if you're like, man, I don't want to run on the road. If you have back issues and knee issues, I understand. But if you don't want to run in the streets because you don't want to, well, you're already limiting yourself because you're like, I'm gonna go on the treadmill. But if like you should go out and run in the street. Yeah. If you're like, oh, I want to do the ski machine, but I don't know. It's just it seems like it'd be a lot. It's tough, right? Or you know what? I'd rather just no. You should do that. As long as you have that first time you have that conversation with your head, you should set goals on that ski machine or that row machine. You know, I feel like that's how you overcome. But anything that's gonna be as far as like not just LSD, like long or slower distance, you got to have the HIIT training and the repetitiveness of like over 30 minutes. I think that builds conditioning in a fighter. 30 minutes. Like a 30 minute jog at like 7 miles an hour the whole time, where you're not trying to sprint real hard, but then you have to have those days where you are building that power explosion because you're going to have that 20-second exploding when you're wrestling or grappling or even fighting, you know.
No, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. That's good.
We'll get to running now. We can write some for you. I would start running. Yeah. Running's good.
All right, you're going to see a slimmer Adam at the summit.
Bring your shoes to the gym on Mondays now. Yeah. Or Tuesdays and Thursdays.
You've worked with a lot of champions, obviously. Benson Henderson, Cejudo, any others that I missed?
I've worked with Patricio Pitbull. I didn't train him, but I've worked with him and been around him. And yeah, he was another one of. I've been around a bunch of champions as far as trained and cornered.
Well, trained even if you've been around them, what in your mind sort of separates them from the rest of the pack? Because I know there's all these MMA fighters working hard to try and get to the top. What's the thing that makes those people at the top different?
I think honestly, you'd like to say it's an overall thing, like for all of them, but I think it's honestly different. Because being around Cejudo, that he went right from high school to the Olympic Combine Center in Colorado. So that guy knew how to compete, and if you're around great guys like that every day, like you learn how to win, right? Like you don't just like you learn how to win. Like if me and you go in there, I'm gonna have to find a way to win, not like, hey, I'm better than you, I'm gonna beat you because I'm better. Mm-hmm. I have to literally physically find a way and mentally find a way to win. And I think that's what he showed in his competition, because I didn't see him have the best sparring rounds. I've seen guys that submit him or beat him, and I'm like, man, how are we gonna beat like TJ, or how are we gonna beat Marlon? And not that I ever doubted him, but it just in your head as a coach, like you're like, man, you just have these worries, and he go in there, he would just show up. So he's a performer. He found a way to win. With the TJ fight, he was just too much. I think he was too smart, too much of an athlete. Then Marlon Moraes, he was losing, then he found a way to win. His good corner, told him some advice, and I think he knows how to way to win. Benson, I feel like is a different mindset. The guy's never, he comes from watching his mom work super hard. He went to a community college. He's never smoked, never drank liquor, doesn't even know what alcohol tastes like. So that guy's has
that's awesome.
Yeah, great. The guy's great mindset, but just the willingness, like the hunger to like never quit and take damage. Like I don't think Henry's biggest thing was wearing damage. You know what I mean? Yeah. Benson could take damage from you. I'm not going to quit. Like his will to not quit was way stronger than anyone's I've ever seen. Yeah. So it's about like not just dishing it out, it's about taking it, and that's a skill.
His cardio is crazy.
Yeah, cardio is insane, and I think that all comes with conditioning. Like you can hit him, you can punch him, you can kick him, you can take him down. He's gonna get back up, and all of a sudden you're like, fuck, it's like the third round, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. That's a mentality.
Yeah.
It comes along with the physical conditioning. And I think those things kind of bind together as far as your confidence.
So with our audience, a lot of traditional school owners and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I don't think I've ever really seen taught, conditioned anything in the traditional martial art world is how do you prepare people to take a hit and take a hit repeatedly without getting in their own head about, because like one of the things I see a lot when I see people try and transition from like more traditional style to like kickboxing, Muay Thai, they're good and then they get hit the first time, like rocked the first time, and they're like, oh, this is what I signed up for.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking like the sparring and the training has to be controlled. Like even if you take a good prospect guy and you put him against someone who's really, really, really good, and you're like, hey, you guys go at it, it's going to stunt his growth. For sure. 100%. And I think 100%. You see that a lot in traditional gyms because there's a lot of ego involved.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ego. So it's very important, I feel like, as a coach to slim out that at the very beginning, talk about it, or whether you just already have a room that understands that. Like, but it's hard to build it because if I'm like, hey, you guys, let's spar. And I feel like it kind of a little bit happened this morning. Not a lot, anything crazy, but, you know, the sparring was fast. You know what I mean? And and not that it was bad, but it was almost like a fight in some senses. And for some of the guys that were there, it was a little faster than, not that I think it needed to be, but what they were ready for. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that daily could stunt someone's growth like that.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
No, that makes total sense.
If that's what he's having to deal with every day. You're showing up and getting your
ass kicked because you're the new guy or whatever
100%.
Every day.
100%, right? So I feel like you've got to bring it along lightly, like, because not everyone's used to taking. I had a boxing coach that told me a long time ago, like, if you have a guy that looks away when he punches, like, don't even mess with him. And this was after I had trained for a while, and I didn't take it truthful at all, because I remember when I first started training, like my reaction was to do that. And
I still do that once in a while.
But you have to keep doing it, right? Like if I go a year without training and I go back in there, I'm gonna want to, like, your eyes, you're just not as good. Your reaction time, you start closing your eyes, and your reactions to turn away. You got to get back in that being uncomfortable sense, and always like keeping your eyes open. But it doesn't. You got to build that. And I feel like you got to build that through good training rounds and drilling rounds and sparring rounds. Like we've done touch the shoulders where you just tag the shoulders, so guys aren't really worried about getting their face blasted in. But then if it comes to where, hey, like we're going to turn it up a little bit. Yeah. Because we're competing, or like, and you see that in the gym. You see some of the guys who really want to turn it up, right? Sure. And then you see the guys that don't really want it to go that way, right? Because honestly, not that they're honestly scared, worried about it, not scared, but nervous about the situation, but it means they don't have control either, like over this person that's really, really good. Like there's guys in our gym, let's say we have this pile of guys and they're all great, right? Let's say there's 10 of them. I've got, let's say there's 5 of them that can spar with even the really good guys and get good work, and then spar with the day one guys that have never even trained, but take care of them, but make it fast and make it look like, we're not touching, but you're going fast, but we're not turning shots. And that comes with time, I feel like. Okay. You know what I mean? Sense. Yeah. It does, because I can stand and close my fists and you walk forward and I close my eyes and I throw this, and you can be like, oh, that guy's trying to knock me out. No, he just had a full fist close and he turned that shit over and closed his eyes, right? So that's what you see with a lot of guys that come into the gym, even wrestlers. They're so hard-nosed with everything. I heard this a lot. A lot of hard-nosed wrestlers come into the gym because their thing is grind. It's not finesse. It's not touch. It's nose to the grind. So when they come in, a lot of times they'll already be making a full fist. Right? Stiff. So everything that they throw out there comes out with some power. Not power, but some validity behind it. Sure. And all of a sudden you think the guy's trying to, and they go hard. So the guy's like, this motherfucker. And we've had the conversation with the guys like, man, that's why he's trying to knock me out. Like some of the wrestlers, like, don't make a fist, be nice and relaxed. Oh, because they're getting it back afterwards. Right? Yeah, because they're getting it right back. You know what I mean? So some of the guys in the gym, they're like, I remember the guy came in first day. I didn't really know who he was. Maybe other guys did, but he was a really high level wrestler. And he came in and he was dinking at us, right? Not the most skilled striker. Yeah. But, he wrestled for a long time. He knows how to scrap. Sure. And everything he threw was hard. So everyone was going hard with him. And remember the conversation we talked about where, like, I keep almost like where I can fit my finger in between there. And I can hit you fast, but not turbo. But if I do the same thing and make knuckles, it's like a big difference. So they're like, man, that's why everyone's been fucking trying to take my head off.
That makes sense.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does, and it's hard to learn. Even on ground and pound, it's the hardest thing. You get some guys who are like, take a guy down, you say, hey, ground and pound him, and they're like, or some of them are just like, well, boom, like just turn it over. It's that control in between, right? You have to have control. You have to learn how to train. That's the hardest thing. Like just teaching guys how to train. There's guys that come in the gym who every session's a fight. Every grappling match is a competition, right?
No, they're trying to win every drill.
Everything.
Yeah.
So like it's not a sparring session, it's a fight. Do you know what I mean? If we touch gloves, like it's not us working and drilling. It turns into a fight for a lot of people. And I think it's ego and not having control, right?
One of the things I love about working with you is you're so focused on fundamentals. And like no matter how long of a combo we're working on, if the footwork gets messed up in the middle, we go back and we fix the footwork before
that's the goal behind those longer combinations because you do the first little piece, it could be by itself. Then you add another one. Well, that could be by itself. These are all scenarios. And then you put it all together. You can't mess up this step to get the next one right? After. And there's got to be patience and then speed and then power. That's what I like behind the longer ones, as long as there's defense involved, not just punching and kicking.
Now, you've seen point fighting, and you've seen like traditional karate sparring. Yeah. What's your take?
As far as like the competition, watching it drives me crazy. But I like the athletes. The athletes themselves and their abilities play so much into what I think you need. I don't feel like that should be necessarily your base.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
The constant bouncing, because it can tell a lot, but I think you should have the ability to do that. And what drives me crazy the most is when you get two really good guys, they'll be like jockeying for position, and then they'll both go, and then like they both just look at the ref.
Yeah, they both crash
argue,
and they're like,
and then look at it, and they're like, "Oh, I got it." Like, no, I think I touched him first, and I was like, let these motherfuckers go. Yeah. Like, let them go. But I get it. It's the point system behind it. And I get it. So that's why it's good for entries. And the Patricio brothers did great with it. Those guys train with a high-level karate guy named, I'll probably mess it up. Instagram's like Meneno Striking or Meneno Karate. Really good. Really, really good. But just the timing. Like, you step in, I step back, and then, you know, I car crash you. And I think those are great drills.
Yeah. I think we saw like Michael Venom Page recently, even though he lost, did a good job just distance control.
Did he lose?
Well, from the judges, he lost.
That was tough, yeah.
But he was dominating Ian Gary on the ground the whole time with that similar style.
On the feet.
Yeah. Sorry. But one of the things that I know when I see a lot of people try and transition from more traditional to sort of what you're doing is they're so used, and I don't know why, they punch and kick the air so damn much. You saw that with our kids too, even when you first started training with them. Number one, what do you think is causing that to happen? Because I think our audience probably, if they pay really close attention to their sparring classes, are seeing the exact same thing. Yeah.
Like where they're just hitting at the air when they hit each other.
Yeah, well, they're like sparring, but it's just like...
Hey, there's just so much distance in between the kids, like at a younger age. And like, you know, when I first came over there, we went from sparring to just drilling.
Yeah.
Because it
was needed.
Yeah, well, for any kids, I feel like it is, you know, but especially because there's some young ones. I mean, there's some kids in there that are 8, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, and just for you guys, we were still like just transitioning from Taekwondo to more like actual stand up.
And their stuff's good. Their Taekwondo movement's good.
But that's when Randy started working with us. Yeah. And that's why I'm referencing like you saw them like punching air at each other, and I saw it too.
They like have the whole headgear. They have like a RoboCop plastic helmet shield, body vest thing, and I told all the parents, I was like, hey, let's not wear those, because we're not really going to throw that hard. They shouldn't be throwing that hard at each other anyway.
Sure.
Like, I want to teach these guys control. And it's gotten better. Like, just learning how to play tag. We've been doing the shoulder drill, which is great for anyone out there. If you can check, hit us up if you want to know what that is. But you start off with playing shoulder tag and then leg tag. You just get these kids closer, because all the movements are so over-exaggerated. Because, again, there's a little bit of ego involved. They don't really know, and it's just so fast. You get these kids that are both like standing out here doing nothing, and as soon as this one goes, he's like, I'm gonna go. And it's like whoever just kind of runs into each other and does a thing, or you get the kid that just runs away the whole time.
That keeps it.
So I like putting one of the kids up against the wall. Even we've been doing one kid against the wall, and this kid can only jab. Yeah. And this kid can parry, or you can cover it. He can lean back, and it's like start playing with him. Hey, throw the jab. You know what he can throw.
The one thing I like that you and Johnny both do that we do a lot now is you break down sparring into like segments almost, where it's like, all right, only jab this round. All right, now this time only lead hand jab and hook. And then all right, let's add rear leg kick, and
Yep.
you just it's almost like Legos. You're building it up.
Yeah, and you make them tired
the
too.
Picture, yes.
And then when they're done, you get both hands. You're like, whoa, okay.
But I love it though because it makes them sort of take a step back from the big picture of sparring, where they can get overwhelmed and confused sometimes. To just be like, all right, just focus on this, just do this. And I've seen even with our own students that moved like really great progression in sparring as a result of doing those drills.
Well, good.
What are some of your favorite ways to structure that if these guys want to start doing it?
Like like when I first started doing those drills, you got to realize that you have to it's better to, even before you do jab sparring, you should teach them 3 ways to defend the jab. Like there's 3 ways to defend it, not counter it.
Yeah.
Just think about even defending. Okay, you have your rear hand parry. You can slip to the right. Okay, you can lean back. And then when they start sparring, they have some answers to it, right? Yep. So you run the drills, you run the defensive to the jab. There's 3 defense, because if you have 3 answers for anything, you start training these kids now to have 3, just 3 answers. Options. 3 defenses. For you to guess from those 3 that I'm doing is pretty hard. Mm-hmm. And then when you start learning counters after the defense, right? But then when they get to be, in their 18s, they're going to have 6. Not that they know, but that they can do. Yes. Right? There's a big question. There's a big difference what you know and what you can actually do are 2 different things, right? I like that. And then, okay, let's throw inside pendulum kicks. Let's throw 3 ways to defend it. Check it, swing back, or you can
I like that breakdown.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like that's the
sense.
best way. And then you're just kind of building them up as you go. But if you realize very quickly what people do know and don't know when you're like, hey, jab sparring. And everyone's just like, whatever, however they react to the jab, over and over, like the same thing. It's like, well, okay, you have 1. That's good to see some kids do even the right one.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That'd be cool. But a lot of times it's just a wrong motion. For, at the young age when you're transitioning from Taekwondo to boxing, it's a lot of big difference with the perpetual motion, your hands down, hands up. It's a lot different.
Yeah,
so
that was me when I first started.
That's everybody
doing Muay Thai. It's all the stupid karate shit.
Yeah, and not that it's funny how it matters. It does and it doesn't, right? You get some guys, you can throw your jab and drop your hand, but as long as you moved your hand or your head offline, but you're not going to stand there and go like this, right? You get some occasions, so it's just slight differences. That's why I love it so much.
That makes sense. With and feel free to be transparent on this. You've done a great job helping us transition our kids more to realistic martial arts and sparring. I don't know how many traditional schools you've been in or seen. If anyone else is like, all right, we want to start moving this way also, and give them a more traditional or a more realistic outlook in training, what are some of the first steps you would have them do?
Call me. That's the first thing.
You guys need to train in it first.
Yeah. I've helped a lot of people do it. It's nothing crazy. It's just building a system. I've worked with a lot of great coaches over the years and stolen some great things from great fighters that I've seen. So I feel like it's just giving yourself an easy understanding of this stuff, and then you can easily change it and turn it to whatever you want to. But build a system off it. Make it simple. It's got to make sense, and it's got for these beginners that are coming in, it's got to be practical. You know what I mean? Very pragmatic. Left, right, left. Don't got to have it be anything crazy fancy. You know what I mean?
No,
anything at all. When we're talking about mixing punches with kicks and movement, I feel like one of the biggest things hardest to teach is head movement and footwork, and that's what
footwork is
head movement. Not just
a pandemic in the martial arts industry of teaching footwork.
For sure, but the feet are your base. I mean, look where the karate bounce starts, but you got to be able to walk with your stance as well, or shuffle. And I think teaching that's important, but teaching people how to move, especially at a level of a martial arts school where you're not necessarily building fighters. You're not necessarily, that's not your goal, right? Sure. If you get some guys that come in and they do great, wow, they'd probably move on to a martial arts gym, mixed martial arts gym, but they would come visit you for your expertise that you want, whether it's your great karate, your taekwondo, or your great mixture that you've created through working with coaches like me or whatever else, right? But I think it's good to just build a system that's easy. Do you know what I mean? It's very pragmatic. You're able to teach it to the lady that walks through the front door. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Pretty simple.
No, it should be that simple.
It should be 100%. That simple. And then you can have the higher stance of it, but
Yeah, and that's one of the things I get sent. Johnny gets this too. Is someone will be like, "Hey, we're starting to do like some boxing and stuff in classes," and then they send me a video and it's like an 18 move combo. They're having some kid do that can't jab.
Yep, and that's what I meant too. Not just building the defensive side from a fighter that walks in the door. It's about teaching people how to use their body.
Yeah,
like I said, if you get a fighter, great, you're part of that. But it's about these people that come through the door that can't move like that athlete. It's because they don't know how to use their body. So when you teach them how to 1, 2, this, like even to make that feel really comfortable, like that, there's so many options inside that movement. And that takes a while to build in front of somebody. Do you know what I mean? To make it look natural.
Agree. Yes.
That's hard to do. And then to do this while I move my feet.
Yep.
That starts to become even a little bit more of a challenge. And that's hard to do for even some professional fighters. Like move your hands, move your head, move your feet. Like it's really hard to do.
It's funny.
That's what makes you mobile.
There's a school owner at one of our events that was like, "Hey, can you send me all of your curriculum?" And I was like, "No." And he goes, "Well, it's pretty much just jabs and crosses, right?" And I was like, "Yes." I'm like, exactly. That's all you need to know. If you can jab, buddy. Cross. Yeah. Like you got all of our curriculum. Go for it. But I'm just like, I think that's like such outside perspective. It's like almost like a caveman looking at like an iPhone, where they can't really understand it. No. It's like it's a pretty rock to them.
It's crazy how they make it so. Some people make it so challenging, and I did too in the beginning because it seems so abstract, and it can be. But we have a left side and we have a right side of our body.
Well, and even just like the different entrances, different exits, the different setups, the feints. Yep. What type of feints you're doing, what level, like all of that stuff plays into it. And I always talk to our audience about like complicating curriculum, because the one thing I dislike about traditional martial arts is I think it teaches so much stuff that you will never ever need for anything in your entire life.
For sure.
Whereas with this type of training, it's like, no, you can use this footwork at any time. Like everything in this situation, I feel like is going to a greater good that's going to help you to protect yourself better, even if you just use it for self-defense.
For sure. Just like anything else, things expand and grow. But I feel like, I think it's crazy it hasn't happened sooner, like a lot of these traditional martial arts gyms
I think it's
picking up on it.
Yeah, I think it's ego.
No, for sure.
I think for a lot of them is they're the king of their own domain within their school. And if they have to go start doing something else, it means they're not going to be the best at it anymore or the best in that sport, which I actually think that's the beauty of it. Like today, I almost puked like in between rounds, but I think putting myself in situations like that where it's like, oh, this is difficult, it's challenging, you have to overcome. I think you need to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, consistently.
Well, I think you Jotty's talked about it before too. It's like you're training inside these limitations, and it's like you're like, man, I want to do this. No, don't do that. Keep your hands down. You got to stand like this, and you got to be here.
Yeah, it's like,
well, man, this kind of feels
one way to do it.
This kind of feels good. It's like that's what I love about mixed martial arts. You can stand karate one way, and then boxing, and it can all work if you can tie them all in together and be consistent. That's the beauty of it for me.
I got a question for you. I've been thinking about a lot lately.
Yeah.
So MMA and like kickboxing, Muay Thai, there's not really a belt system. If there was a belt system, like let's just say like stand up. So there's a belt system for stand up. In your eyes, what would make a black belt?
Like as far as everything mixed together, you got to have solid defense, good footwork, and decision making skills. I feel like, I feel like those are the three things. And you talk about you got to have good pace of play. You got to know how much to throw, when to throw. I think like that falls inside that category as intelligence, but defense, footwork, intelligence.
What would a Randy black belt test look like?
Oh, Randy black belt test. Knowing both your stances, orthodox, southpaw, basic combinations that we have set in orthodox and southpaw. Know how to change stances fluently, how to take away the jab and take away the kicks on both stances. Pretty much you have to know everything.
Yeah.
In my opinion, right?
Yep.
I'm not gonna require a bunch of spinning attacks. Those are you have that. That's not inside my system. Like I have guys that do that off the stuff we do.
Sure.
But I'm not trying to teach any of that stuff. That's outside my wheelhouse. I do some myself when I spar and fight, but I'm not equipped to teach that stuff.
I like high percentage moves better. Anyway,
yeah, for sure.
If I'm going to throw that once a fight,
and if you're good at it, use it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're good at it, but don't don't abuse it. That's the problem with some of those guys that are good at that. They abuse it. I had a guy that fought recently at a really low level show, and he fought up a weight class, which he shouldn't have, but fought a really big dude, mostly boxing. And this kid's athletic. Kid can do a lot, and he's got good boxing too, but it's not what he's more comfortable with. But he came out, and it was 2-minute rounds. Came out in the first minute, I think, through every karate kick that has ever been taught. A little bit, maybe gas too, but it shows the other side you're worried about, your ability. You're just kind of overwhelmed in the situation. You don't want it to get close, and the guy got close and caught him with a good punch, and it was kind of the end of it. But like, you got to limit those things, and they got to be worth it. I feel like you're going to throw, you got to commit to those things.
Yeah.
Man. If you're going to spin and do that stuff, it's got to be.
Can't half it.
Yeah, it's got to be damaging. You see Sean O'Malley do when guys try to spin and they do a bad job, he just like makes fun of them and spins in a circle.
Yep.
I love that. Like, because you didn't really try. You just threw it.
Sort of threw it out there.
You see those guys just fucking throw it. I hate it.
Speaking of spin kicks, Ross Arena has like the hardest spin side kick I've ever felt in my
Ross
life.
does spin side kick.
I was holding my gloves for him. He did like 50%. I could feel it in my spine when he kicked. It was amazing.
I bet he kicks hard. He's got some thighs on him, boy. Poor guy that he just beat last night. Got beat up. Left knee to the liver.
His back of his head was bleeding so
Was
bad.
it really? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
It was just dripping out the back of his head.
I didn't know that. That's sick. Knee to the liver. Like, hook. Get over there. Bam.
Knocks him out in front of Rogan. And
sick.
All
Yeah,
those
that was
guys,
cool.
like,
and his little thing
like, what a better way to retire.
Points at the logo. Was that a sponsor he pointed at?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was good, Ross. That was good. Pretty cool.
I don't know what Ross is gonna do now. Well, he's got his personal training.
Fuck, he wants to
yeah,
do, man.
He can.
That guy would be the mayor if he wanted to.
You've worked with Ross, right?
Yeah. He did a seminar that I did at Jottie's. I haven't got a chance to work with him or anything he's done, but I've stolen a lot of things from him that I've seen him do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has some good drills. He's taken some of our guys through too that I like. Yeah. Let's talk about pad holding.
Yeah.
And the lack of it in the martial arts industry is
also get your forearms pumped out.
My favorite thing to see online, and it's funny, I'll see an Instagram reel of someone boxing or some martial art plays and the instructor's holding pads.
Yeah.
And he's like this. And then my first reaction is I always go to the comments. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, there's a Coach Randy comment.
Yep. Oh, for sure. I'm on that shit. I'm like, please stop. Or you should have there should be a license for mid holding or just something. Yeah, so something.
How do
I don't voice my opinion much, but when I see that shit, I'm like,
I've learned a ton from you about pad holding, just like you training with me, but then also you did the pad holding seminar at the last summit. How do they transition? Because I don't think martial arts instructors realize that their pad holding is actually limiting their students' progress.
Yeah,
because they're just used to doing it, just like hold it out and let them hit it 10 times in a row and switch sides and do the other side instead of it being more interactive. And then we see them start doing interactive. You either get like the guy being held up where the pad's out here, or it's like
a good guy. They've just never had explained to them, right? Like, even I'm still learning stuff every day. I've been doing it for years, and I learn. You
watch a lot of. I see you watch like training videos of like fighters and stuff, and start.
Well, my whole life is that, right?
Yeah.
You turn on Instagram, it's pad holding or fighting. Like, it's literally coaching videos or fighting or food. Show up on it all the time too. Usually Mexican birria tacos.
So I know you watch film. Yeah. What are some of the things you're trying to look for when you're watching? Are you looking
tendencies.
more for?
I like to see what guys like their tendencies, like how they react to the basic jab, how they react to the low kick. Do they know their range? Do they control the range at all? Some guys are waiting to go right away. Some guys are waiting to draw you in. So you just kind of see their tendencies in space a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you can see when they get tired. A lot of guys get tired consistently around the same time. You'll see in fights.
I feel targeted right now.
I was looking you in your soul, dude. 2 rounds this morning. I'm just kidding. More than that. 2 twos, you know.
I recovered, though.
Recovered, came back and whooped some ass. Yeah, that's good. I thought you were done.
I wouldn't let me go out on that.
A homeless man in the back. Open the door, he's sitting out there.
In my defense, it was a combination of mouth guard and shitty cardio, so not just shitty cardio.
And beating people up, so he's beating them up. He's doing good.
No, it was fun though. I think the one of the things that I like about just generally doing the MMA type of training more is, I don't know why this doesn't happen in more martial arts schools, but like when I leave the lab, I'm always like tired, exhausted, drenched in sweat, and I'm out. And I think I told you this before, when we watched like that 75 hours of different martial arts classes and stuff, there was like 2 or 3 where the kids were sweating.
Yeah. It's tough. Depends. Yeah. Some
people.
And
I think since kids, I think what it is, and I would love to hear your opinion on this. I think instructors are too worried about what the parents are going to think by giving the kids hard challenges. And then I think the other part of it is if those kids fail and suck at those challenges right out of the gate, then it hurts the instructor's pride.
Yeah.
So he just wants them to feel good.
Well, I think I deal with it sometimes too, is because, I'm around a lot of higher level guys on a daily basis. And when I go train some of these people that aren't around it as much, I underestimate their, what's the word I'm looking for? Like level of focus, right? Or wanting. I'm like, man, they look like they want, or they're bored, or they want to do more. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
You just hide the reps inside a little bit of details that you give them, right? But I have some students, like she can't throw a jab worth of shit. She's on her 5th day. And I still have her throwing a jab and maybe a cross. And I'm like, man, should I make her swing back? No. Don't make her swing back. Don't make her change. Like, don't give her anything else because she's still fine.
Yeah.
When you ask them, it's like, if you could ask them, they'd be like, no, I'd want to stay on this. Like if you stopped and asked them, do you want me to add something to this? They'd be like, no, I'm good.
And then you got the other ones.
But their personality and body language tells them different, right?
Sure.
For the most part. So you think they want more, but they don't. Like you just got to keep them in, hide the reps pretty much through the details. I feel like, hey, I like this, but do this a little bit more. Make a sound right when you do that one. And then bring it back as fast as you can. And now when you bring it back as fast as you can, give it a little feint, just the little details inside there. So you make them feel more in control of the basics, you know what I mean? Because if you're like, hey, jab, cross, you're like, ba-ba. Again, ba-ba. And you do that for like 40 minutes, ba-ba. And they're like, I got it, right? Ba-ba. No, go here, sit your weight down a little bit more. Right? Elbows tucked in. Now shoot that shot. And then some people will feel it because they listened. Some people are just like, look at you and not really do it. And then you got to understand, are they just not getting it, or you just don't know how to take direction?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it'll be both.
Yeah.
Especially with kids, I think a lot of it's going to be
a little
direction.
Yeah, direction. Or just like push back.
They're still learning that part, or like depending to where they're used to getting direction from in their life.
Yeah.
Like if they're just don't have to listen, there's no consequences anywhere else in life, it's not going to change.
Or their reply back makes it seem like, even some adults I train, their reply back, hey, I need you to go like this, or some other, like, even their body language, like, do you want to be here? I'm not making you be here. But some people just don't know how to be like, yes, sir. Got it. Understood. Clear.
Yep.
Yeah. I acknowledge what you said.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
At our house, if I tell a kid something and they're like, and I was like, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear anything.
You just keep shaking.
Jotty, you'll hear him. He's like, we're not in the library.
Yeah.
And that's like and the kid just stare at him. And he's like, I want to hear something. He's like, yes, sir.
You tried to sound like Jotty right there. Did you hear him?
I did.
That was good.
I'm sorry, Jotty. My bad. Curriculum. That's
Curriculum.
It's like in our mastermind now, everyone says curriculum just because of Jotty. Going back to disguising repetition, one of the things that I like pointing out to our industry that I think they get it twisted a lot is they think disguising repetition means that you need to make it a game. And that, so like, there's a lot of, trying to phrase this in the most like way that I'm not going to offend people. There's a lot of other consultants in the industry that give them games to disguise repetition.
Kids?
Yeah. Some of them maybe can help with like a little bit of the martial arts, but I think a lot of it is like, oh, we're afraid that they're going to get bored, so let's just like do something fun, whether it relates to martial arts or not.
Throw darts like a jab.
Yeah, or what was the video you and I saw that he was throwing at, you know who I'm talking about, the one that you always text me the emoji of?
Oh, yeah. Or you like throw a ball or balloons, water balloons, and you're trying to hit water balloons and shit.
Yeah.
That shit's...
And you teach kids at our school.
Yeah.
I've never heard a single kid complain about your class or say your class was boring or anything.
Yeah.
And I think what we need to do in our industry is change what the definition of disguising repetition is. It's disguising repetition with intent that's actually going to help them get better, instead of just like disguising repetition because you don't want them to get bored.
And if you know how to talk and place things into people, you can see like, and again, we don't always have our best days when we're coaching. You try to do your best, but you say something and you're like, I want you just to do this and this. And then you get some guys who get it down, and you're like, you add one other thing to it, and then like, you're like, okay. you're making it, you get some focus in these guys and you get them all down that path.
Yes.
You're literally doing just that because they understand the simplicity of it, right? And you're like, now throw a jab. Now they're like, step left, step right, roll under, jab. And you just do that again. Make it perfect.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And now
that's
hard. That leaves levels of focus. But then I'll get some people in the class who can't step without moving both feet. You know, then you got to really just limit those guys. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But giving them something they can literally wrap their brain around.
No, I think that's so important. I was at our school the other day and one of our coaches was teaching and I was just looking at the body language of the group he was working with and they'd just been doing the same drill way too long.
Yeah.
And I pulled him over and I was like, what's their body language telling you? And he's like, they're all bored.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. I was like, well, that kid still should be working on this anyway. So I get it.
Yeah.
But I just stopped the class, added like a pullback after the last technique, had their partner swing at them.
Boom.
And all the kids like instantly body language changed, more engaged. And it's not like, we didn't have to do a game.
Yeah.
It's helping them.
I feel like when you do that too, when you add something, it's to try to make the last thing better. Like
yes.
If the kid's going like
holding,
if you're going like this and then he's bringing his right hand back, then the drill should be jab, cross, bring your hand back, throw your cross.
Yep.
Because that's gonna fix that, right?
Yeah.
Or if he's
100%.
going like this and then bringing his left hand back, it should be jab, cross, and then throw the jab. Like drill, add on things that are going to make the mistake better.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like a little bit. You have to cover this or this isn't going to work. And that's how you feel it in your body, I feel like. You make the mistakes yourself, right?
Yep.
Oh, there you go. That step was off because I didn't do what you had said.
Yeah. And
you can't throw the jab if you don't move the back foot up or whatever it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And you do that with me all the time.
Oh, it's always the back foot.
Though.
It's always the back foot or whatever it is. Hey, you were out of position or you couldn't throw the kick because you left your back foot too far, or you were too tall because you stepped up too much with the back foot. It's us being mindful of the little things. Yeah.
It's crazy with the karate guys that transition over. The one thing I see them do constantly is whatever the last punch of the combo is, they hold it.
No, yeah.
They like just hold it out and then they just like sort of put their hands back.
Like they're breaking a board.
Yeah, but I think that's just like conditioning from forms and shit of them, because you teach to tighten and hold on
because
all
they
the
want to
traditional
look
crap.
at it and you go yes.
Yeah,
I call that looking at your work. Can't look at your work.
What's your take on? Do you know what bunkai is? Have you heard that term? Okay.
Bunkai?
Yeah, this will be fun. So in Japanese martial arts, they talk about bunkai, which is like the forms they do, like that. There's a secret self-defense meaning to every move in the form.
Oh shit.
So like down block punch might be like you're getting out of the way, sweeping the arm down, out of the way, and hitting. Have you ever seen those videos online? We got some new videos for you to comment on now.
Wow.
I'll send you some. But they're pretty much taking traditional like moves and traditional stances, and the justification for doing them is that there's a secret self-defense move attached to it.
Well, that's what I feel like a lot of the people now are starting to realize, right? Is that going to kata class and forms class isn't going to help you and stop someone from trying to beat your ass.
Get some letters now. I agree though.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
No, it really doesn't.
Agree.
It doesn't. Like it. But what I've seen through training people is it does help with some of the details on kicking.
Yeah, but I don't think that's from the forms though. I think that's just from doing the repetition.
Repetitions or whatever it is. Because I've trained some guys who, especially wrestlers that come in, kicking's not just all from the hip. It comes from that knee bend in your chamber, and that comes from a lot of doing those reps. But it doesn't get you used to hitting mitts better or like shadow boxing better. Like forms should be called shadow boxing.
Yeah.
But we're not leaving it out there, right? Like
and actually be shadow boxing.
Kata, actually do shadow boxing, but not ever leaving anything out there or like so slow. You should have an intent. You're never gonna fight anyone and yell at them, and scream at it like that. I mean, I did it as a young kid and I hated it.
I did it as an adult.
I did it. I remember the teacher grabbed his leg and did the splits like he's standing up while he's talking to us, and I'm like, looking back now, I was like, so much ego. I feel like that's a lot in the traditional martial arts. Like you said, ego that keeps everything else out. And like, that's why a lot of these gyms, guys that are smart, I think it starts with the instructor too. Like, you wanted to learn more.
Yes.
Tristan from his gym in Scottsdale wanted to learn more. Abel wanted to learn more. Jody wanted to learn more. It wasn't like, hey, come turn my gym into whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, hey, I want to work with you so I can learn this stuff because I want to be better.
Yep.
That's all it ever was.
I think that's where it starts, and then we start to realize that all the stuff we learned is sort of shit.
Yeah, but you just know there's more out there, and you have the ability and like what's the word I'm looking for? Your control of your ego and your pride to want to learn and get better and know more. I'm never gonna tell you, like your sidekick you threw today was great. I'm never gonna tell you not to throw that. Right? There's gonna be some things I tell you not to do because we got all these other weapons that are available, right? Like you can't do the whole time. You're gonna get calf kicked. You can't stand sideways, because there's other things. But if you're only doing karate,
back, right?
Yeah,
in point fighting, like it was funny. Johnny and I did a seminar at a school, and it was Taekwondo school, and all their guys are here the whole time.
Yeah, you lean it back.
Because they're used to just throwing front leg side kick or whatever, and not using their hands at all.
So I'm gonna yell at you when we have other rules in play. Like there's just things you can't do repetitively, but yeah, I like traditional stuff to a point. I think it helps, but there's got to be a false sense. There can't be the false sense there. But I have a lot. Even for my family, I have a nephew that doesn't like to go in to the sparring days.
Yep.
He doesn't. Him and this other kid started at the same time, right? And they both can do the moves great, but the other kid wanted to break off in the one direction, and then my nephew wanted to continue doing just the forms, right? Because doesn't like stuff flying at his face.
I have a theory for why martial artists don't like sparring. When you're only used to punching and kicking in the air the freaking time. For sure. When you get put in a sparring situation, and I'll say most martial arts schools, and this isn't a knock, I just think this is a fact, because we used to do this too. Most martial arts schools don't actually prepare the kids to spar.
No, for sure.
Because like first 6 months you learn forms, and then it's like you show up one day and it's sparring day, and you put your gear on, and it's like.
I have some adults that I don't think should be sparring, but they've reached the belt where they're able to. And some of the gyms I teach, and you allow them to spar, and that's just to keep people safe. But even they shouldn't be sparring yet. You just gotta give them the ability because they want to come in and play. And you can't tell them here's a playground, and you guys can't just draw inside the lines every day, all day. So you let them move around, but they shouldn't. I feel like some of them. But they have to learn a little on their own. There's got to be that learning part on your own where you're just not. But you always keep it controlled. I feel like that's the biggest part of it.
Yeah, I agree.
But like, these traditional gyms, I feel like the ones that I've worked with, the coaches just wanted to get better. It was never like, never anything outside of like, hey, I want to pay you to come teach at my gym and all of this. Like, that's what I like about it is all the guys I've ever trained with or teach at their gyms now, they want to learn, or they do still actually come and coach and train with me still to this day. And I love that. And I've learned a lot through being at a lot of your guys' gym about business, and because there's a lot of things that traditional martial arts gyms do better that a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms and even kickboxing gyms didn't do. Yeah. And I think you hear about that. Abel talked about it. I first met him. It's funny that I think about this now because for years he's been going to this martial arts convention. Yep. That I've known of him forever. I don't know if it was yours or a different one, but this seems like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, he's been going to ours, I think, for the last 5. Yeah. This is our 5th year for the summit. I think 4th.
Yeah, I don't remember.
No, 5th one. You don't have the footage from the first one. No.
Yeah. That's right. Thank so God. and whatever it was, right? But like he'd always tell me, they asked a question like, "Hey, raise your hand if you own a martial arts school." Right. Yeah. And everyone obviously there raised their hand. And he goes, "Okay, now raise your hand if you net over X amount of dollars a year." Sure. And like only the karate and taekwondo gyms put their hands up. None of the jiu-jitsu gyms did because they don't charge for testing, they don't charge for belts. It's a little more just like you'll be rolling and I'll come over and put a stripe on you, and the whole gym like yells. You know what I mean?
That I just think they don't see the business side of it.
No, that was a start of it. Yeah. I think that was a start. Not that there's only part of it, but seeing it more of a business as far as like I think charging for testing and doing that stuff is very important if you want to keep growth in a structure, right? I do, but it can't be like a pay to play. It has to be real.
It has to feel like they're not getting nickel and dime.
No, 100%. Yeah. That's the biggest thing, the pay to play nickel and dime type thing, but I feel like it does, because you have some people that want to come test and advance themselves as a martial artist without ever stepping in the ring. Do you know what I mean? And you have to have that ability for people. And I think the fact that you charge for testing shows the value and the time that you spend. It's not like a 30-minute come and do your thing, right? It's like it should be an event. It should be something that happens and it's your time, and then you get to talk and even say your piece. But I feel like that just holds value to these more gyms, because more gyms are doing it now. Sure. Lab has a program now in their kickboxing gym, right? And Jody has one, and everyone has one now. It can be karate, it can be kickboxing, and you're separating these things. And I think that's valuable as long as you know how to prosper as a gym. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I think so. We always say you can't change lives in an empty martial arts school.
You can't, and that's what a lot of gyms do, especially in our day and age. Like I would love to just say I can test 25 students for free every week, but that doesn't happen for so long,
Sure.
unless you just got a constant influx of money. But most martial arts instructors don't,
No.
and I think that's something that gyms are learning now.
Yeah. I've seen that as well. I see a lot more BJJ schools get more focused on the business side as well, which I think is awesome because I think BJJ is it's one of my favorite like martial arts styles. Even
it's
though I
getting more
haven't trained
structured.
in a while.
It's getting more structured, right?
Yes. 'Cause I remember when I first did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they didn't explain like what they look for to get stripes, belts, nothing. No timeline given of like this is like the average or anything. It was just like, oh no, they'll just call you to the front and give it to you when you're ready.
Yeah, as long as you hit 30 hours, you're like, man, he's been here a lot. Let's give him a belt.
Yeah, and that's how the tracking was too. It's like they just stare at you for a little bit, look up, and then they're like, all right, next.
I think there should be a little bit of testing involved inside jiu-jitsu gyms. I think people would have a little baseline of things to know and not to know. And like, obviously you can train outside of what you're testing on, obviously.
Sure.
But, you know, when it comes to 6 months, hey, these 3 things, 4 things, whatever, you should know.
Yep.
And you should be able to explain it to me pretty well.
Put them in the scenarios, have them do it.
100%.
Have them roll and see how much time they actually control. Yep.
I think it's cool, especially if you're getting into a position where you're trying to train people that don't want to be the highest level competitors.
Yep.
Right? Guys that want to do this and show their validity through their time and effort of learning.
Sure.
I think it's 2 different worlds.
What do you obviously you work with a lot of coaches too. What do you feel like are some of the differences between like some of the coaches that get the best results out of their fighters compared to all the rest?
Say that again. Ask it again.
So like what separates the top tier coaches from everybody else?
I think you gotta know how to talk to your athletes different. I can't treat everyone the same. I think everyone needs something a little bit different. Like, you know, there's some guy wants the cheerleader, some guy wants the sensei, or not everyone wants a cheerleader, but cheerleader, sensei, and the coach, right? You got to kind of go between those 3 things. I feel like you don't want the guy who's always looking for the cheerleader. You don't want the guy who's always got to be coached.
For you, what's the difference between the sensei and the coach part? Just for
the sensei part's
listening.
like, put your foot here, elbow up, arm down. The coach is like, hey, what are you doing? You know, you're supposed to be here at 5 o'clock, or holding people accountable, the coach side.
That's what I think is missing from like the coaches that aren't at the top is they're not willing to have those conversations or call those people out because they just want to be liked.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's a great pot. Well, I think that right there, if that's happening, you already show your lack of, you know, where you establish yourself as a coach. Like you don't I don't need to text you and hold on to anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I got to tell you what's going on. I've had a lot of that going on with me as a coach and with some people that you're really close to. You try to tell them, hey, I don't like this. I think you should be doing this. And some guys push back and do it. Some guys agree, yes sir, yes coach, 100%, and then do it. And you get some guys who agree 100%, yes coach, and then don't do it. So you get a little bit of everything, you know what I mean? I think that's what John does real good at the lab. He holds people accountable, not even just through, like he does text guys and bother them when they're not at practice, but just because of his hard work and his dedication to the team, I think automatically holds me accountable for missing practice. Because I remember days I'd be driving, I'm like, oh shit, man, I'm tired, or I got to get the baby thing. I'm going to be jammed. I might get there right at 3. Do I want to deal with that?
Yeah.
Do I even want to go?
Those are real conversations.
But I'm like, man, I know John's going to be there.
Yeah.
And I know he's going to text me. And
mine is like, I just want Randy to call me a bitch.
You know what I mean? No, you know, whatever it is, right? Like, I just know that he's there. He's going to be there.
Yeah.
And I better be there too, because he shows just as much commitment to us getting better as I do to myself getting better. I think that's what you have to have as a coach too, right? Like someone who's hungry as you for it. You know what I mean?
Now, question for you, because you had a good thing from Abel earlier where everyone put your hand up if you're making X number of money.
Yeah.
We've also done it where I'm like, where Johnny or I will be talking and we're like, who owns the school? Everyone puts their hand up and like, keep your hand up if you're actually training 3, 4, or 5 times a week, and all of a sudden all the hands.
Oh, for sure.
Except the one really fat guy in the back who's got his hand the highest still, that you know is not full of shit. But
it's hard. But I don't blame him. It does get hard. It takes freedom of time.
Yep.
And it makes you not instructing every class. If you're teaching all your classes, it's going to be very hard for you. And it's going to be hard for you to maintain.
You got to be a young guy, I think, for that.
Yeah. And it's hard to maintain still. I did it for years. Like for me to make sure I go, you know, Abel does it consistently. He trains in the morning.
He's in ridiculous shape.
Trains in the morning and then trains and coaches all night at night, like Monday through Friday. But there's going to be a point where I feel like when he gets older in age, he knows, he talks about it, he doesn't want to even have to do that.
Well, he looks like he's 19.
Yeah, of course he does. But you know what I mean, though? It's getting to the point to where you don't want to have to do that anymore.
Sure.
And I feel like that's that's freedom a little bit. But you have to find the time.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
agree.
I mean? But if you're teaching morning class, he doesn't teach any morning class. But if you're at a gym who's got like noon kickboxing, this and this, like you're not going to find time because you try to cram all this shit because you want your business to make money. And you think the more you train, the less money you're going to make because you're not there teaching. I've been with that battle a little bit, you know.
Did you ever do the thing, because I used to do this back in the day when I was sort of in that mode teaching all the time, that I was like, all right, it's black belt class, I'm just going to train with them.
Yeah.
But then after a while, I started to realize that I was doing a disservice to them because I was like, oh, I'm going to get my workout in now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've definitely done that. And I've seen guys that do that still, you know, as far as getting their training in. It's, for me, it's like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like not just an excuse. It obviously passed an excuse because you missed your workout, but it's like you're like subsidizing it. You're like, you know, just supplementing it with what you can do. You're like, oh, I'll just get it in here because it's still not the same.
So I did 10 kicks with a class. I trained today.
It's hard to separate that though, and Abel does a good job of separating his coaching, teaching, and then in his training time very separate.
So I have a question for you about fight camps too, because I asked a previous person I used to work with about this and didn't really get any answer. What does a typical fight camp look like? Obviously, I know it's the focus of what you're taking them through is going to be dependent on the person and the opponent and all of that. But what does conditioning training typically look like?
Well, at our gym, we've got a good workout room, and in the back, the coach, his name's Jared. Like he's got it all set up to where, you know, usually start camp at 8 weeks for some guys it's 6. But you come in and you start doing a certain workout on the board. If the further you out away from your fight, it's more power, it's more strength building. And then when you get about 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, it turns into more endurance training. And the closer you get to your fight, the more rounds you have. So like on Wednesday and Saturday, when you first start your camp, you do 1 round. And then your second weekend, 3 weeks out, you're doing 3 rounds with the guy, and it doesn't ever stop until like the last week before fight week is when you finished all your rounds. So you slowly build 1 round first week, second week, maybe you still do 1 round, but the closer you get to the fight, your last sparring rounds is when you get that full simulation of the fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's usually a fresh guy every round. So when you're on your 3 rounds, it's a fresh guy that comes in.
I think it's good though.
Every single round. Yeah. And you're sparring throughout your training, but it's usually on the outside. When we go inside the cage, it's simulation rounds, like a fight. You're going to go pretty hard. You're geared up. You and the dude are trying to win.
Do you guys pick the partners? Yeah.
John mostly writes the list. I have input, but there's always a list so it's always funny when the guys when they're warming up, Crouch comes and puts the paper up and everyone comes and looks over like in our high school, see if they made the team or not, you know, who's got rounds. Because you know how much you're going to do out here. Or some guys are like, oh shit. Some guys are like, fuck yeah.
Do you sometimes get guys like trying to prove themselves in there?
Well, for sure. You kind of have to, and that's what those rounds are. Not prove yourself because you're not trying to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
But it comes down to trust too. Like if you have a fight and you're getting ready to fight for, $60,000 and $60,000, I got to go in there and know that I'm not going to just fucking elbow you right up the middle.
Yeah.
So it's hard work, but it's controlled work. But like, you don't ever let off the guy. Like if I'm not ever going to let you win.
Yeah.
Anything, in the cage when it's those rounds.
No,
that's the mindset behind those rounds. It's almost harder than the fight. But I know that there's not going to be any spinning elbows up the middle, or and if I do land something, that I'm not just going to walk up and start you afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it's high impact.
And then as you get closer to the fight, do you pull back on the sparring at all? Like with injury concerns and stuff?
Well, that's what we do. We'll do like the last sparring session you have will actually be your most amount of rounds, right? So you have like 3 rounds your last sparring camp, but then you'll have about 10 days where you don't do any sparring. Okay. Maybe 8 days, because we do our last sparring rounds on I think it's a Saturday. Usually some guys are Wednesday, some guys are Saturday, but then they go all week that next week and they don't spar at all. They may come in and move with the partner, but nothing high impact where they can get hurt.
Are you usually putting them on like food restrictions and stuff too?
They do
during
it
that?
themselves. Most of these guys, they work with nutritionists and stuff, but sodium restriction and all water loading and all that stuff comes with it.
Okay, cool. And then the last thing I want to touch on with you, and I have a great idea for you, me and Jody, to do next time. I didn't do any shadow boxing really until I started working with you, and it's become, I think for me, one of my favorite part of training because I can see how it directly transfers over to sparring.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it is completely non-existent in the traditional martial arts industry.
Yeah.
Like not a thing at all, really.
Yeah.
With maybe a few outliers. When I read Tyson's autobiography, which I think is like one of the best books ever, entertaining as hell, he did like an hour of shadow boxing a day.
Oh, easy.
Like,
well, that's
nonstop.
That's easy, man.
Yeah, but can you tell them why shadow boxing is so essential?
The biggest part is when you shadow box, that's what you look like when you fight.
Yeah.
If you put another person in front of me and I shadow box, that's what I look like when I fight. Everything I do in that shadow boxing round is what I'm gonna do and look like. It's probably gonna look even worse when you're fighting.
Yeah, because you're getting hit
like,
and
you're
tired.
thinking, where you just your mind's on what you know what I mean. If you're not experienced, but it makes you have to be creative. You know what I mean? Some people don't know how to shadow box, so obviously it's not practice that makes perfect. It's perfect practice. You've heard that before, but shadow boxing is it's important because it teaches you how to move your feet. You got to be free. You got to know how to hit things and not land them. You got to show speed, power. There's no one telling you what to do. You're in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no bag swinging back and forth, and the bag is easy too. Not easy, but different too because you have something to actually hit.
I feel like if everyone listening just does go do a 2-minute shadow boxing round. If you feel awkward and feel like you have to think a lot, probably means you should do it more often.
Sure.
Because when I first started, I was like, all right, like what jab cross. All right, what do I do now? And
that's why you gotta teach. Yeah.
But luckily, you're like, all right, now add a feint before the jab, and you're giving me these little things to build it up over time.
Well, that's why I feel like it's so important to show some of these pragmatic motions at first, like left, right, left.
Yep.
So I can create left, right, left, or whatever it starts to be, right? Because I can just learn how to use my body well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For these guys that are want to get good fast, I feel like you gotta understand how to use your body, especially now when you're shadow boxing, you can start feeling things. Oh man, I felt good. Oh, and you ask questions later, obviously, when you get back around a coach, but then you get some validation from him. You're like, it sticks, and then it stays, and
I feel
that's
like
hard to get down.
Helps you to like self-diagnose certain things too, because like it's really easy when you're shadow boxing. You're like, oh, that didn't feel right. Like what about it didn't feel right, and then go through it. Like I know you remind me about it constantly, but I'm catching myself on it more even when I shadow box. So it'll feel off. It's just carrying that right foot up on the cross. On the cross, because I go along with it sometimes.
And there's times you want to go along with it, but it's like heavy intent behind what you do. And I think when you shadow box, the easy thing to do is start with one strike, jab, and then go jab, slip, move around, jab, slip, hook, cross. Okay, jab, slip, hook, cross, pull. Do you know what I mean? Yep. If you finish to your right, go to your right. Finish to your left, go to your left.
I still think that's the other part that I don't think people understand about shadow boxing. At least I didn't when I first knew what shadow boxing was. Is it's defense also. It's defense, it's counters, it's all that. I think a lot of people think shadow boxing like, all right, punching, kicking. Yeah.
They don't really know. It's how shadow boxing is the most important thing to be a good striker. Develop good striking and stay sharp and just always just keep on top of your stuff, man. It's like a guy who really cares about his car a lot. He's gonna go out there and every time he sees a mark on it, he's gonna rub that.
Yep.
He's gonna rub the tire off or something. Every day. All
yes.
the time. I had a boxing coach when I first started. We'd be at the middle of the restaurant eating, and he'd go, "Get up, sit, move my head, move my head. Always got to be ready." In the restaurant.
Was it David Goggins?
No, my coach wasn't Goggins, but yeah, I hear about that story. But he said, "Got to be ready always." So I'd be going down the grocery store aisle with my grandma. Going, you see something hanging, you're like, da da da, hit it. You're just like always on your mind. I feel like to be comfortable, like you said, like you got to be comfortable to do it. I want to make sure to say shadow box until you can.
Yeah,
that'd be a good one, right?
I like it.
I'd buy it. I'd sell it.
My proudest dad moment was I was getting ready, our kids ready for bed, and I go in the bathroom and my middle son's in there. He's got his toothbrush in his mouth. He's looking in the mirror. He's like doing this, like doing it. I was like, all right. I was like, this is the best day of daddying ever. Last thing is, two more things.
Yeah.
Is there something that you feel like, besides shadow boxing, so we just talked about, that martial artists need to do more in their training that they're not currently doing, just in general?
Traditional martial arts schools?
Yeah.
Implementing boxing. Just basic fundamental boxing. Don't make it seem like it's anything else. Tell the kids it's boxing.
Yes. And learn it first. Learn it first, please.
Yeah. Go learn from a good coach and then go bring it back to your gym. And don't teach it the first day you learned it. Don't go and learn something from some guy that day and then go teach it in the gym that night. Now, if you get someone that doesn't know anything and you get a kid like a one-on-one, try to break it down for him a little bit. It's going to help you understand it. But don't try to teach it to like a bunch of people, I feel like. You know what I mean? And even doing it with one person is questionable, but if that's all you know, right?
That's still my favorite Facebook message I got ever. Is some guy's like, hey, he's like, heard you enjoy this podcast. He's like, I'm going to start teaching Muay Thai. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm like, how long you been training? He's like, well, I haven't. And I was like, well, how are you going to teach it? He's like, well, I looked up some drills on YouTube. And I was like, oh, God.
YouTube and Instagram is not an instructor. That's not a training program.
Yeah.
But I think, yes, it's important. You want to go learn boxing. I think boxing and karate is great because you can mix the two inside your curriculum pretty well.
Yeah.
You just got to change the stance a little bit and show the kids and understand, wide stance and a little bit more narrow. And that's where you fall in love with this anyway. Things you can do from here, things you can do from here. Go learn boxing from a good coach, a good credited coach. Bring it back to your gym. Teach your kids. I forget the guy's name. He trained Izzy. He was a karate guy. His name starts with a V.
Not Steven Seagal, right?
No. It was, I would ruin his name if I said
He's a karate guy?
Yeah, really good.
Like Shotokan karate?
I don't know, but he does all the spin stuff. He's got a dojo. I think it's like in the Netherlands or somewhere out there. Maybe even Australia out there. But he implements boxing. I think the stuff he does with Izzy is so like, karate and then boxing and then go high hands and then pop back and drop.
I think being able to box from a blitz is like like a really good skill to have in that. For sure.
And then just being able to not blitz and know how to punch at the smallest range. You know what I mean? Like boxing is the best to learn your range for your hands by far. I mean, we all know that, but I don't think people really understand like the coordination that like boxing gives you as far as moving and having your ability to. That's what hands. He's got hands. Means.
Yes.
He's got hands. Not that he can just punch. Like the dude, the kid can move. He can push him high. You know what I mean? Power, speed. The dude's got hands. He can block, cover. Not just like kid can hit hard. That's what it means.
You and I talked one time, I think after one of the training sessions, and you're telling me like the most important parts to focus on for fighting. We're talking about like distance, speed, all that stuff. Can you go through that again just for everyone?
You got to be able to control. I feel like the distance and the pressure are the two things, right? The amount of pressure you're applying, who's applying pressure, and understanding the distance and the range. Because if you start applying pressure, I need to know how to control the space a little bit. Yeah. Whether I need to shuffle, step. Now, if I run, obviously I'll get out of the way, but I'm not in position to do anything.
Sure.
Right? And I'm just going to give up real estate. But I feel like as a martial artist, you need to constantly run through that OODA loop we talked about, that OODA. You observe, you orientate, decide, action, constantly. That's a fighter pilot term that fighter pilots would use. Yeah. You would observe the target.
Shout out to Ed Rush, by the way. Yeah. He spoke at my events. He was
nice.
Fighter pilot.
Oh, yeah. So from what I heard and learned, it's, they would observe, you would orientate, you would decide, and you would make an action. And as soon as you were done making an action, you'd have to go right back because you didn't hit them. They were going to move, and you had to get right back. Again. Observe, orientate, decide, action, observe. So I feel like that's important to put inside your shadow boxing. It's hard to think about, right? You're not just sitting here going, you go, observe, orientate, decision, action, boom, observe, orientate, decide, action, like constantly.
I think with me, I sometimes just go to action.
A lot of us do.
Because I'm like thinking, all right, I want to do this. I want to do this type of thing instead of looking to see what they're giving you. Yeah. And then going for it. Yeah. Which I also find out once I actually pay attention and look at what they're doing, I usually do better. Yep. Sparring. Cool to play a game? Yeah. I'm going to name a fighter and just give me one word. What pops in your head? Okay. All right. Go. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Izzy.
Fingernails.
What fingernails? He had long fingernails.
His nails got painted or whatever. They were talking shit about him painting his nails. That's just the first thing that popped in my head when you say Izzy. Because Cannoneer would always talk about him painting his nails.
Sean Strickland.
Child abuse.
Okay. Let's go Brock Lesnar.
Budweiser.
Because he drank Budweiser?
No, because that Budweiser thing where he said, I'm drinking Coors tonight. You remember that thing when he was in he was in the cage And
that
yes,
event, is that when he was like,
yeah, they like didn't
sleep with my wife, or was that the same one?
I don't know if it's the same one, but he was like mad about it or something, mad about Bud Light, about the amount of money they paid him. I don't know if he's mad about they didn't pay him at all, but he's like, fuck Bud Light, I'm drinking Miller tonight, and that was like the main sponsor on the thing. So I think of Bud Light when I think of Brock Lesnar.
That's amazing.
Or I was gonna say, God, what's the other guy's name that he beat the crap out of? Oh man, who's the guy he won the title from? You remember his name?
Frank, was it Frank? No, he defended. No,
it was the white dude, the wrestler guy. I can't remember his name. I'll have to look it up later. Beat him up against the cage too. Oh no, had an arm choked him. That's who it was. I'll have to look it up. Do we have a Google on hand? Who did Brock Lesnar beat to take the title? See if we're even right with that part of it.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Let's go, John Jones.
Greatest of all time.
I thought you were gonna say cocaine. Good job.
Almost did. Greatest cocaine of all time.
Are you talking about WWE?
No,
UFC. He fought in the UFC.
Ooh, he won the title. I wonder if he took the WWE title from. Now I'm interested.
I'm sure he had a few of those. Let's go, Henry Cejudo.
Competitor. That's what I think of. Competitor.
Khabib.
First thing that comes to mind. You don't like this. I know you don't like this. I know you don't like this.
Randy Couture.
Oh, he beat Couture for the title? Let's see another name. Go name some of the guys on the list.
Couture.
2008 it says.
Go down the list a little bit from his.
Wait, Lesnar fought in 2008?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he beat Randy.
Man,
I remember he did
now.
beat Randy. We go down from Randy down. Who was it?
Kifer.
Okay, who else? The name I'm thinking about.
There is a Min So Kim.
Min So Kim. Who's above?
Frank Mir.
Yeah, okay.
Shane
Shane Carwin.
Yeah, okay.
Gosh, that name was gonna bug me. Thank you so
Carwin
much.
was one of those giant hands.
Shane
right?
Carwin was beating the crap out of him and almost finished the fight. And he's like looking at the ref why he didn't stop it. And then the round ended and he came out and he was like gassed himself out trying to punch him out. And Brock Lesnar literally just takes him down and head and arm chokes him. Gone.
The amount of pressure Lesnar would put on a body like on ground has to suck.
Dude, I remember I went to Minnesota and I got to meet this guy. His name was Leroy Vega. Like this tall wrestler, like 3-time NCAA champion or whatever. But he was part of that Minnesota team that had every weight division won the national title that year. And Brock Lesnar was on that year, but everyone next to him looked like a midget. Like on the thing that showed all the 5 weight classes, Leroy was like that small. But even the guy next to Brock was like a whole foot shorter than Brock. It was crazy. The size of that man.
Crazy. All right, ready? Next one.
Last one. Let's go.
I got 2 more.
Oh, 2 more. Okay.
All right, Jake Paul.
Smart.
Smart.
I'd say smart. Pretty intelligent guy.
Yeah, definitely on the business side.
Dude,
for sure.
The reason I say that is because I have memories, and I think about it a lot. My 19-year-old, I have a 19-year-old. Remember the day we were in the car, she's like, Dad, talking about the Jake Paul guy, all these videos she watched. I'm like, well, what is it? She's like, he just does stuff and shoots videos and it's funny. And like, but can I get some Jake Paul merch? I'm like, I never heard the word merch before.
Yeah.
Nearly never heard the word merch. I'm like, what do you mean merch? Like merchandise, like shirts, sweaters, and all that. I'm like, I don't. Now he's like one of the biggest things ever, right? So crazy, I think pretty smart. So I say smart.
Okay, Sugar Sean.
Savage, sniper. Dude's good.
He's one of my favorite people to watch.
Yeah, he's
and then
really good.
We'll throw one more. Maniac McGee.
Relentless. God-fearing man. Free. That guy, him and Sean, they both fight so free in there, man. Like, no worries in the world. I know the work's been put in. Not that other guys don't, but it's hard to go in there and perform the way you train in the gym. And I think both those guys do that very well.
You think, I know Maniac is sort of early in his UFC career, right? Mm-hmm. You think he's going to go pretty far?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. He could be 40 years old.
He looked amazing in his last fight.
He's in crazy shape. There's the genetics and
he's
just
jacked.
the hard work the dude puts in. That dude could be a bodybuilder and go win tournaments, I feel like. Just his physique. Mm-hmm. He works hard. He's smart on his diet. He's such a good human. Like, he's a guy that when you hang out with, you're like, man, I need to be a better person. I can seriously, I'm like, man, that was good. Like, I probably wouldn't have done that, but I should have,
That's awesome. I think you have to have those people around you all the time.
And the thing that impresses me about Sean the most is I think, like, I don't think the kid really competed a lot at a young age.
Mhm.
Like he didn't wrestle. I don't think he did karate tournaments, or even that's different, right? But he's so comfortable in there. Knows where his
Yeah.
feet are. He's like just so in the moment, and I feel like that's so important. And I feel like that's something a lot of guys lack, and definitely something I could have been better at earlier on in my career, is just being present, having the 100% ultimate confidence in what you're doing until it's not. You know
So-
what I'm saying?
What do you think allowed him to do that? You think it's just a personality thing? You just think it's from the amount of training he's done?
I think all of it wrapped together. You know, he's been training with some guys for really long. He learns how to train. He knows his weapons very well. He knows his length, his abilities. I don't think he obviously he get better now, but you don't try to fight someone's fight. I think he does a good job of fighting his fight, and that's hard to do, like putting people. He's just very intelligent. You go back and watch a lot of things he does in performances, like it's a lot of high level things outside of just the attacks, like how he feints and when he circles and why he circles. And I don't think it's necessarily all taught to him. I think it's natural. I think you have that. I think you have that. And obviously
there's definitely something special about him.
for sure. His range, his footwork, his ability to train both sides. But like he said, like he was switching stances, trying to switch stances at the beginning, and all the coaches, like, stop switching stances. Like telling him, like a lot of guys do, like, hey, don't switch stances. But it's like, hey, like I'm gonna practice that now.
Yep.
Now when I get 10 years from now, holy shit, man, it might not look great right now. You might not want me doing it now, but I'm gonna practice it now.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm gonna try not to get hurt. There's a time to switch and time not to switch. But you start doing that at younger, especially his style, like. Now he's got that shit locked. He'll jab you from orthodox. He'll jab you from southpaw. He'll
His
hit
arms
you.
are so damn long
He'll
too.
throw a straight from either side. He'll throw a kick. So there's no stance for him anymore. It's so wherever his feet are and his head is, he can throw. And that's seems easy, like to say, but that is a talent, man. And that's why I like all these stance switching combinations you do with guys that are built into a pattern at first, and then it's got to change because it all becomes part of who you are. Like. Not that you need to be fancy and switch stances. It comes down to no matter where my feet are, I can throw something, right?
Yeah.
No matter because if I have to circle to my left only in orthodox, I'm limited.
Yeah, true.
If I have to circle to my right only in orthodox, I'm limited. Or you know what I mean? Like I need to be able to go the direction and have my power hand always ready.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
No, that makes total sense.
Think about it like that. I don't want to move. I'm limited. You know what I mean? Don't limit yourself.
Any,
Be bystantial.
Bystantial. I learned that term from Randy. Any like dream fight that you want to see? Of like, man, I wish this guy and this guy would fight.
I want to see Sean versus Corey Sandhagen.
That would be a badass fight.
I think Sandhagen would end up wrestling him because I mean, they both know their length. They're both fast. I think Sean obviously hits harder. We haven't seen Corey just one punch starch people like we have Sean, but I think he would resort to wrestling. I think Sandhagen's got more options, more different strikes and stuff, so it might give Sean a little bit of a fit, but I feel like Sean would catch him on the chin, hurt him.
I think Sean's really good at defending the takedown too.
Yeah, and then Sandhagen would try to shoot. But I think like the guy, not that Sean doesn't. I think he does. He works on it hard. But I think when you fight a striker that can give you problems, it opens up the wrestling. No one's been able to strike with him to wrestle. Like everyone's like wrestle. But if I can get you to throw at me, like Peter Yan got him a little bit because he got him to throw with him. Peter Yan's got good enough striking that he was able to implement the wrestling. If I can't get you in a striking game with me and you can see everything, you're not taking me down. I'm not taking Sean down anyways.
How much of Sean's success do you think is attributed to Tim?
A lot. Yeah, I think a lot of it is just, and they've been friends for a long time. I think.
I just feel like they know each other so well, just from listening to the podcast, seeing their conversations and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I obviously they're super close, like family. So I'm sure they've had their moments together where you bicker and stuff. But I feel like the biggest thing is knowing that you both have the same goal, and it's to help him be the best in the world. And if he can come up with him, then why not? Like, do you know what I'm saying?
No, I think they're like a perfect combination.
Yeah.
I think we should do, when Jody's in town next time, a reaction podcast.
Okay.
To martial arts clips on Instagram.
I'm down.
I think that'd be hilarious. I think it'd be the best.
I'm down.
If you guys want to see that, let us know in the comments.
Comment king.
Yes. It's so fun. Like, no joke. I'll be sitting on the couch like after the kids go to bed with my wife, and I'm scrolling Instagram, and I'll be like showing my wife some shitty like martial art video, and I'll be like, watch this, and I go to the comments and like you're top 3 on there, and I was like,
it's funny because I commented on one of these one time, and it was stupid. They did something, and I was like, please don't teach that. I was like, please don't teach that, just like that, and like period. And someone doesn't even follow me. He was following me, but I wasn't following him back. He was like, man, you literally comment on every post I see. He's like, go outside. Go outside sometime. And I go back and I look, and he was trying to follow me, and I go, definitely not following you back now, dude. But I was like, it's funny. There's ones I do comment on. Like, it's only the martial arts stuff.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And your comments are funny as hell too.
Yeah, I try.
I'm already laughing at the video, and then I look at your comment, and then I like screenshot it, send it to Johnny, and he's like,
I need to be a little more methodical though. I'm gonna disappear in the dark. You won't see my comments anymore.
You do like a secondary Instagram account just for trolling.
Yeah, that's true. My trolling account. You can't troll at the main account.
Yeah, well,
it makes
you
it
can.
look bad.
Trump does.
That's
Elon.
True. Does Elon?
Elon's like one of the biggest trolls on
his own main page.
On his own
platform,
I'm
Elon.
100%.
Then fuck it. I'll be like Elon.
Yeah,
I just have to voice it sometimes. It's so funny.
The what?
I have to voice it sometimes.
Oh yeah.
I just hate seeing some trash out there. But then I just don't care. Like, I need to stop because it shows that I care, and I need to not care.
No, I honestly think it helps, and I usually wouldn't be. It's
all gonna go away.
Helps. No, I just think someone needs to call out like when people are teaching crap that it is gonna be a disservice to the person that's learning. Because the number of things where I've seen like martial arts instructors be like, all right, if you're in this situation, this is what you use. And it's like, that guy is going to die because of what you if he actually does that.
Yeah, I know. But I have to remember there's millions of people with phones that just turn it on and show stupid shit. And me yelling at them probably isn't going to change whether they're like, man, should I show that dumb shit? Nah, Randy commented. And no one's gonna like, I'm not stopping anybody probably from doing it, so I need to just
Sometimes
quit.
I hope you are.
I hope so. Yeah. Some guy's like, damn, he's gonna get me. I had some guy message me one time. He's like, what did I do wrong? And I was like, well, honestly, man, did you train? He's like, I train a little bit, in the military, this and that. And I was like, well, what's your goal with the videos? He's like, I'm trying to get followers. I'm like, just okay. Yeah. You're gonna get them. You're gonna get haters too.
Yeah, but not the ones you want.
Yeah, not the ones you want. Yeah.
So, Randy, you're gonna be at the summit this year again. Yep. You were there last year, taught a great seminar.
I'll be on time this time. Last time we got the addresses mixed up. I went to the car show, wherever they were having.
You went where the business seminars were. Yeah, that's right.
Seminar,
You'll be good.
We'll be good.
It's all at the same spot this year.
Am I home? And I doing pad mit stuff, or am I showing combo? What do we do?
It's up to you, man. I'm gonna let you pick this year.
Let them pick.
Yeah. All right, comment below what you want Randy to teach, and then Marcus is going to be there too, right? Teaching as well.
Maniac McGee, yeah.
So we were talking about Maniac McGee earlier. He's a rock star fighter. He's going to be there teaching along with Jody and Ross.
That's going to be crazy.
We got 4 it's like 4 of the best.
Okay, I'm involved in this one. Let's go.
Heck yeah.
That'd be cool, man.
We're working on maybe one more also, but I don't know yet. We'll see how the negotiations go.
Full sparring at the end.
Yeah, full spar.
Everyone's got to spar before they leave.
We're gonna go blood sport, full kumite.
Yeah.
At the end.
Face kicks only. Teeps to the mouth only.
We need one person that's like the monkey fighter though.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm a 3rd-degree black belt in monkey.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Here's one last. We gotta edit this. All right. There's no rank in MMA.
Mm-hmm.
And I had.
You're a white belt. You're a white belt.
Yeah. I'll own that. So one of the arguments I see online that I don't understand is people see like someone like Tim or you, not you guys exactly, but someone in that position that's like a good MMA coach, like doing some sort of drill online, and they'll comment asking what rank that person is. Like it fucking matters.
Oh, in MMA or something?
Yeah. And I'm like, first of all, I'm like, this is MMA. Very rarely have I ever seen anyone getting ranked in MMA.
Well,
and then it's like, also, if the results are there, what the fuck does a belt matter?
Yeah. I don't know if that's a comedic thing they're asking, like what rank are you?
No.
Like, being serious?
No, like there's been people dead serious I've seen comment on and like get in an argument with the poster and stuff.
Dang.
And the poster's pretty much saying what I said. It's like, well, I used to box and I have this in my fight. And they're like, but what belt are you? And I'm just like, that's ego. Like, put those two in a room.
Well, that's the guy that never left a traditional karate school and thought that that's the only martial arts that works.
Hence ego.
Yeah, he must be doing what my coach showed.
One of the best arguments, I was talking about this one time, and someone commented on the clip, and they're like, hey, they're like, this is offensive. Those moves could have protected someone in the 1800s. I was like, cool. Like,
Yeah.
Like, are you using rotary phones and fucking wagons and horses still?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, anyway, guys, we're going to see you at the summit. Randy's going to be there. I'm going to be there
Don't miss
along
it.
with everyone else. We'll see you guys there. RelentlessSummit.com. Get your tickets, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
We're unstoppable. To the top, we about to go. That CEO, I need to know the impact we about to grow. Competition comical. Straight A1, we on the road. Money focus for the goal. Tell them what they need to know. We unstoppable.